Welcome to the show, everybody. Happy holidays. Yes, we have missed you in the last 3 weeks. Seth went to somewhere warm, and Sean did not.
Sean lives in somewhere warm. He doesn't have to go to somewhere warm.
That is true. But the warmer the better. So I hear that there are warmer climates afoot. So perhaps I will be taking a trip in the future, and we'll be once again on a different continent. But that is
we couldn't even get there to do the show while we were in the same house.
That's true.
It was not our strongest moment.
But we have done it in 5 different continents.
You have. I've done them in 1, maybe 2.
There is 1. There is some credit to be had that this show has endured now for 14 years, and on 5 different continents. I believe in 14 different countries. So good on me. Good. And 14 different countries, 5 different apartments, and 1 basement. That's basically where we are. So the basement being his.
And Puerto Rico.
And Puerto Rico, yes. And a territory as well. That is owned by the United States without having to go and conquer it. So
no, that would just be silly.
Right, because we don't annex other lands. We don't go into other countries and depose dictators. We don't annex, international boundaries of other countries such as that are owned by our NATO neighbors. We don't do any of that. That's not part of what the United States does. We also don't shoot people on the side of the road that are just driving through.
Okay.
I think we're done with the political nonsense here today.
It is nonsense.
We should get back to some sports. So today, what are we talking about today? 1, we have to acknowledge the fact that Sean's team finally won a game. We're not really sure which team it is. Well, yes, we are. It was the 9-0 drubbing of those New Jersey Devils by the New York Islanders.
That's what you're starting with.
I'm starting with it
boring regular seasoned hockey game that means nothing.
Dude, first of all, it does matter because for this guy that has rooted for a 3-14 football team for the entire year, for a college basketball team that he has seen 3 losses this year already, and we're only in January, 3 losses live, almost a loss on Tuesday, a Mets team that has completely shat the bed. Yeah, I'm going to take my 9-0 win and shove it right in your face. And you'll be okay with that because you don't care.
I do not.
By the way, next stop, Jake Kamens will become an Islander fan. We're working on that.
Well, you lost him as a Jet fan.
Well, I think we lost 60% of the Jet fans as Jet fans this year.
You saw that viral video, right?
Maybe.
Of the teenager walking out saying, "Why did my parents subject me?"
Oh, yeah. Oh, but that happened like 6 weeks ago, dude.
I know. It got so much better. It got so much better as well.
Well, I'd like to point out that my family didn't make me a Jets fan. I did that at my own volition, which makes it, I think, even worse. Mitch got to pick the Giants, and I wound up with every team that Mitch didn't pick.
How do you not have an interception an entire season?
That was a quarterback.
You didn't play Aaron Rodgers 18 times. Like, how is that a thing?
I got a better question, and this is for yourself and everybody else, is how is it that I watched Aaron Rodgers do what Aaron Rodgers did on Sunday night and said, where the hell was that last year? Like, that was the biggest part that I saw, is that where was that Aaron Rodgers? Now, to be fair, Tyler Loop kind of ruined it, but we cut him week 14. Oh, yeah, and we had the downfall of the Seth and Sean Sports Fantasy League. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. 13-1, and sadly a 3rd place finish.
Well, there was a great meme, right, that I sent you that you love going through the entire year and you have amazing, amazing years, which we do. And I did in all three of my leagues. And then I shat the bed in week one of the fantasy league playoffs and then kill it in the consolation round. And that's what we
Yeah,
did.
I got two third places also. Not very
Yep.
exciting.
Three for three on third places. But anyway, all right. So Islanders out of the way. NFL playoffs on hold. Let's talk about the Final Four. We have 4 teams left in the college football playoff. First of all, have you watched any of the games?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched most of Mississippi, Georgia. I watched most of Indiana, Alabama. Yeah, I think those were the two that I don't, and some of Miami, Ohio State.
Okay. So Miami, Ohio State was very impressive.
Yes.
Right? Very impressive. Now, there has been the talk, and I think rightfully so, that the bye week doesn't necessarily help because there are lots of teams, especially in the last.
Here's the thing: it's not like it's 1 week off.
Right.
Remember, there's a 3-week hold, so these teams have a month off.
So, all right. So, do you think at the end of the day they're going to redo this thing again because they always redo this thing again?
Sure.
Right? Add 2 more teams. Not saying that's what you should do.
No, they'll add 4.
Okay.
They're going to make it either keep it
whatever it is. My point is, do you think that the teams would rather play the extra week or sit or get the bye?
Play.
You think they'd rather play with the risk of losing?
Oh, sorry.
So Ohio State is given the choice this year at the beginning of to play an extra game, which you may lose, or take a bye week. There's no winning here.
I think here's the problem you have. If you look at the bottom 5 teams, which are the
James
bottom
Madison.
Right. So you're never going to have the 2 teams from the group of 5 again. That was just a fluke. I mean, think about it. Duke won a 6-way playoff to get into the conference championship and then beat Virginia.
Yeah,
that will never. So under normal circumstances, look, but these bottom teams.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami, to be fair, Miami's defense has been very impressive. I don't know how anyone thinks their offense has been impressive.
You don't have to have a great offense if you give up.
But Alabama wasn't good.
No.
Oklahoma wasn't good. James Madison was Tulane, neither James Madison or Tulane were winning their games. If you're playing the group of 5 team, sure, you'd probably rather play it. And I also think the 4 weeks is just too long. And if you're playing a home game against the number 4 team from the SEC, I don't think that bothers you. I think you think you're going to win that game because you're going to be the 2 or 3 seed.
So I'm kind of back to the scenario that we can now do away with the disillusionment that these guys are collegiate athletes, right?
No, they're just pros.
Right. So we can deal away with it, right? It's gone. The concept that they are student athletes is gone. It's out the window, right? We're taking that title out. The reason why you were not playing during the middle of December was because of finals. That was the reason, supposedly, why games were not being played, right? And to be fair, the NFL took advantage of that because there's actually a federal law on the books that says that while there is college football being played, the NFL cannot play on Saturday. That's a law, high school and college football. So now that college football is no longer being played, the NFL plays during December, those 2 Saturdays.
Correct.
So why don't we do what we used to do, which is have the final game on January 1st or January 2nd or whatever, and just play through December at this point.
That's what I would do.
Right? So we're not look, I'm going to the Peach Bowl tomorrow. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to see Indiana face Oregon. I am really happy to see the next Jet quarterback playing tomorrow. I'm going to get a good
Congratulations on the second pick.
Thank you. I'm going to get I'm going to get a good preview. I'm going to get they couldn't mess up enough. That was what the Giants did. I'm going to get a good preview. But why? Why are we playing games January 15th for our national championship? That doesn't make any sense. None whatsoever.
What their thought is that those last couple games, you're not going to have NFL competition, obviously. But nobody.
But you will. You're not going to have NFL competition next week?
It's a Monday night game. You're not going to.
Okay.
Tonight, you have a game tonight, you have a game tomorrow night, and you have a game next Monday night.
Play it on Tuesday. Who cares?
You're asking my point why they're doing it. I'm telling you.
Right. Well,
so
my point is play it on game day. Now
you're in play on New Year's Day.
Play it whenever you want.
Play it on New Year's Day. I agree. It's a complete and utter waste. And it's, as you said, the 90% of these guys aren't college athletes. They're just junior professionals or whatever you want to call it. And just run it through. It's how I feel with basketball. It's how I feel with baseball. It's sad, but that's the reality. And even if it wasn't,
college baseball, I'm not sure we're dealing with here.
I know very little about college baseball.
No, you just said that's the way I deal with basketball and baseball.
I said basketball and football. I thought I said basketball and football. The only thing I know about college baseball is the coach of the Tennessee Volunteers is now the coach of the San Francisco Giants, which I think is
true. Congrats to you on that. Well done. Okay, so all right, so we have Oregon and Indiana. Indiana has looked very good. I mean, I'm blanking on the quarterback's name. Fernando
Mendoza. Should I get you the jersey?
You're probably going to have to. I think he actually would. If Dante Moore comes out, all roads are leading to the Raiders taking him with the bigger upside.
He does feel like a Raider more than a Jet, to be fair. Mendoza kind of feels more like a Jet.
Okay, can we put into the hemisphere or the atmosphere that there's no quarterback that sounds like he should be a Jet? Let's get the alternative of what
there's no quarterback who wants to be a Jet. That's a different discussion.
I got words. I got words that I could say.
I've heard them all. I've heard them all today.
I know. I got words that are on we're on a podcast, so I can say whatever I want, but we're on a fan-friendly show. So the fact is, look, I want either one of these guys at this point because it's fait accompli, right? At this point, if both come out, you're going to take one. Okay? I don't think either one should be starting next year. That's my point.
I know more shouldn't be.
Neither one.
Mendoza's played like 35, started 30.
I don't care.
Okay.
I just don't care. So did Sam Darnold. So
who do you want as your starting quarterback?
We'll get into that in a second. My point is, I'm going to see this tomorrow. I think more comes out no matter what at this point. I think the hype is too much. I think he goes to the Raiders. I think Tom Brady puts efforts into him. I think he goes. I think Mendoza becomes a Jet. I could, quite frankly, if I had my druthers and I am the GM, I would trade the pick. I would. Because I don't think that they are a quarterback away.
Oh, no.
If they could get the Browns to trade up with a similar pick, choice like Travis Hunter trade last year.
So you're looking at 4 and 35, and maybe a second round
in next year's first.
They're not doing that deal. The Hunter deal was a ripoff.
Fine, then I don't want 35, and I just want 4 next year's first.
You're gonna have 4 first-round picks next year. Is this Anthony Becht, Sean Ellis revisited?
Dude, please. Sean Ellis, Chad Pennington, John Abraham, Anthony Becht.
You like that I picked Becht of all 4 of them? Becht was the one I came up with.
I did. Do you remember where he was picked?
I want to say 28.
27. You were close. Yep. So Ellis and Abraham went back to back,
That I remember.
and Chad
And
went.
there was no pick, I think, before the top 15.
Correct.
Was Abraham before the 15?
I thought there were 9 and 10, and then 16 was Pennington.
I think it was like 16, 17, something like that.
Anyway.
Okay, so the Cleveland, okay. Remember, we're also in a year. You're going to have a new coach in Cleveland.
Hold on. Let's finish the 4, and then we'll get on to the NFL. Okay, so Miami, I don't even know who Miami's playing. I should know this. Who's Miami playing?
Who's Miami what?
Who's Miami playing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Ole Miss.
Oh, okay. Miami and the bonus pool of Lane Kiffin are playing in the other. And remember, Lane Kiffin gets paid if Ole Miss wins. He gets $500,000 for every win that Ole Miss has in the playoffs, and $1 million if they win the title. Psycho. There we go. That's exactly right. Psycho. So I have not watched Ole Miss play.
You didn't watch the highlights of the Ole Miss Georgia game?
I was.
You live in Georgia.
The entire
you had to have heard about how great that game was.
I did. The entire state was in depression. So, look, the South is a lot different than the North when it comes to college football. We talked about this, I believe, when I came home from SMU, in that you have in the North, you don't have state universities other than Ohio State and Michigan, like really big state universities. And so football doesn't surround itself. There is only one college. Now, you could say Georgia Tech is a university in Georgia, fine. But there is only one football school in this state, and that is the University of Georgia. Georgia Tech played Syracuse when they were number 8 in the country, and there were at least 5,000 empty seats. Georgia plays East Tennessee Valley State, and they have a full sellout crowd. There's only one. So when Georgia loses in the playoffs, the whole state is in mourning. I did not watch any of the game. I did not see any of the highlights. So I do know that it was like 38-35. I know that there was a lot of offense. Is that because, and Seth, I assume you watched some of this or saw the highlights.
No, I watched the game.
Is that because Ole Miss is that good? Or is that because there was absolutely no defense being played?
No, Ole Miss in Georgia, Ole Miss was that good.
Okay.
Trinidad Chambliss made some plays.
Great name, by the way. Great.
Well, you know his whole story.
Yes.
He was like the D3, and then he transferred to be the backup at Ole Miss, and then the guy hurt his ankle, and he came in,
100%.
and he's been mind-boggling. There were 3 or 4 Mahomes-ish plays in a row.
Okay.
That game was just fun.
Okay.
Georgia was good.
By the way, hold on. If you have, we have some listeners coming in and out. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. We would be happy to.
There you go.
Into those.
As long as we're not talking about the Islanders 9-0 game of win over the
No. I watched that soup to nuts. I am happy to answer any questions.
No, that Georgia Ole Miss game was sensational. There's no other way to. It was fantastic.
Okay.
And this is going to be a real contrast, to be honest. Miami has very little offense. Carson Beck has not been worth the $4 million or whatever he is getting paid. But the offense is.
If the Jets pick Carson Beck, I might not be a Jet fan again.
Well, again, if you take him in the 4th or 5th round that's correct. That's fine.
Correct. As a Kirk Cousins, yes.
I guess here's the question I have, so Jet, look, your worst case and your absolute worst case. Indiana demolishes Oregon. Moore looks like crap and decides to stay.
Yep.
But here's the thing. Even if let's just say they both come out, and I realize you want to trade down.
Yep.
No one's trading up. I don't think anyone's trading up for this because you have a monster, an absolute monster, supposedly QB class coming out next year.
Yep.
And no team is a quarterback away from being a champion in something like Cleveland, even who desperately needs a quarterback. Whoever their coach is going to be, and we'll talk about the musical chairs. Whoever the coach is going to be is going to hopefully. I mean, Cleveland. I got to imagine they gave Stefanski 6 years. I'm assuming they're going to give this guy a few. I don't think they're trading. I don't think they're trading their future for Mendoza.
Well, first of all, if Dante Moore goes back, then Mendoza won't be there because he'll be pick number 1.
Sorry,
right?
They'll trade off for Ty Simpson.
Okay. Moving back into this. All right. The Jets, by the way, also have number 16, and perhaps that's where I want the trade to happen. But we'll get into what I want for the draft in either later or in the next show. Okay. So Miami, great defense, right? Led by their defensive line has played phenomenally. I watched most of
Ruben Bain Jr., who should be a first-round pick this year.
Oh, he'll be in the top 5. I watched most of the Ohio State game. Well done, NCAA, having that on New Year's Eve again. Not sure that's a great idea, but whatever. And so I watched
for the Jews.
It's New Year's Eve, not Christmas Eve. It doesn't matter.
Oh, you said Christmas. I thought you said Christmas Eve.
No, I said New Year's Eve. I said well done on New Year's.
They still drew well. And
I know.
Anyway,
you could draw a lot better. You could draw a lot. Put it on New Year's Day. You'll have a lot better of a draw. But anyway, go back to where we used to get off my lawn. Give me back what I had. Anyway, okay.
You're from Long Island. You don't have any lawn. You're like this little.
It has lots of lawn. Don't go.
No,
you
have it's like little squares and houses on this little squares.
When was the last time you were on Long Island?
More recently than you.
That's true. That's fair. And you saw my brother, but not more recently than me. That's just barely. So anyway, okay. So Miami goes and plays Ole Miss. I assume by your, I don't know, gregarious attitude towards Ole Miss, you're picking Ole Miss to beat Miami.
I do. I think they'll win. But again, it's hard. Like, first, Miami's defense is great.
Yes.
I don't think you can hold Ole Miss to 10 points, but I also didn't think they could hold
Ohio State to 10 points.
Yeah. And Ole Miss has this weird situation with the coaches are coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out. I think the easiest way to say it is it will be a game of great contrasts.
Agreed.
Ole Miss will be running it up back and forth. Miami, Carson Beck is a game manager.
At
best. They have some really good freshmen. The receiver, I forget the name off the top of my head. Mark Fletcher is a good running back. They're going to pound.
Yep.
But it should be a fun game. They both should be fun.
All right. And now going over to Oregon and Indiana. This is less of a contrast in style. They both like to pass the ball.
They do.
Your running back, I say your former Maryland running back,
Roman Hemby,
is playing very well in the backfield for Indiana. I'm going to pick Indiana to win this game. I've watched a lot of them in the last couple of weeks.
I'm assuming you're picking Miami in the first one.
I am. I'm picking Miami in the first one, and Indiana in one of the more unlikely matchups. If you put this at the brackets, I wonder what the odds would have been for Indiana to face Miami in the finals.
Well, I think the more unlikely would have been Oregon. I mean, Indiana's undefeated, won the Big Ten, is the number 1 seed.
Yeah, but it's Indiana.
I know.
I'm just saying, it's still regardless of how well they play, no matter how well a team plays, you still have history, and people don't see.
I think that kind of went away when you beat Alabama by 35. I think you kind of lose that. Okay, this is Indiana because they Alabama'd Alabama. Like they ran all over.
Yeah, but no. I meant at the beginning of this tournament. Well, if you look at the odds, I think the odds of an Indiana, Alabama. Oh, you mean the SEC title game? Sorry. No, that was in the playoff, right?
That was
Indiana,
last week.
Alabama. What's that?
That was last week.
Right. So what I'm saying was, if you took when they announced the bracket, if you took Indiana versus Miami, that I mean, obviously Indiana versus JMU would have been a little bit more of an odds, but I think that would be one of the more unlikely combinations of high odds.
Well, here you go. Here you go.
Oh, you
Before
got
the
it.
2020. Oh, this is before the semifinals.
No, I
Okay,
want
that's
before
not.
the tournament.
Yeah, I'm going back there. Hold on. Indiana was generally about 100 and before the playoff started. Odds makers favored Indiana as the top contender. Indiana was roughly 100 and was 130 plus 130.
Okay, and what was Miami?
300.
Okay, and what was Oregon?
300, and Ole Miss was 600.
Oh, okay. So Oregon and Miami were the same?
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Anyway, so gonna go see them tomorrow. I will pick Indiana over Oregon and have Indiana Miami, and then I think Indiana is going to beat Miami. And then we will harken back to 1987 with Bobby Knight. well, by the way, Kirk Signetti has as many smiles as Bobby Knight ever did. So that's about right.
It does feel like Signetti fits in well there.
Yeah. So obviously you're taking Ole Miss. Who are you taking tomorrow night in the Peach Bowl?
I'll take Indiana as well. Okay. I'll wait a week until we'll do next week. We'll choose the title game.
Yep, we'll do next week. We'll see how it goes. But I if that's the matchup, I can't see myself picking Miami over Indiana in the final. But Mendoza has impressed me. He definitely has some arm strength that I thought of Mendoza, truth be told, from watching him earlier on this year and watching him last year a little bit at Cal, because I went to the game against Cal, Syracuse Cal, is he reminded me of a little bit of Chad Pennington, where he didn't have the arm strength. I didn't see the arm strength. When he played Alabama, he showed arm strength. Yeah. He was fitting that ball.
You've seen the name that people continuously compare him to, right? It's only been one player. Everyone compares him to Goff. And if you have Goff as your if you have a Goff light as your starting quarterback?
No, I don't want Goff light. I want Goff.
Well, you know what I mean. Fine.
Here's the
Goff 2 as
yours. And that's fine. Goff can win you a championship.
Yeah.
Goff made a Super Bowl. Yeah. Many people don't remember Goff made a Super Bowl. But Goff
he's a better quarterback now.
Correct. Okay. So let's move on to the NFL, right? So obviously Bloody Monday happens, right? And surprisingly,
starting Bloody Sunday night, actually, when Raheem Morris
started. I guess it started Sunday, but okay. So there was a great meme that I saw with two goalposts, and it said Tyler Loop, and it says to the right of the goalposts, fire Harbaugh. To the left of the goalpost, fire Harbaugh, and to the center, fire Tomlin. So, and it had a feeling that that was the case. So John Harbaugh is now out, right? How many teams are looking for coaches now? 8, including Mike McDaniel, who got fired today. Correct?
He was number 8.
Who will probably wind up, from what I hear, in Cleveland. So that would be an interesting move to Shador from Tua. So, all right. You obviously want John Harbaugh.
Yeah, correct? I do. Hold on. Carly's calling. Give me 1 second.
All right. So we're going to put him up. So we have of the coaches that are out, we have Las Vegas has fired Pete Carroll. The Jets somehow still have Aaron Glenn. Arizona fired Jonathan Gannon. Tennessee fires Brian Callahan. The Giants fired Brian Daboll. Cleveland fired Kevin Stefanski. Miami fires Mike McDaniel. Atlanta fires Raheem Morris. Those are our are we back, Seth? No, we're not back. Those are our vacancies. The Jets at 3-14 still have Aaron Glenn. Washington at 5-12 still have Dan Quinn. New Orleans at 6-11 still have Dennis Smith. Kansas City at 6-11 still have Andy Reid. I think he's got a little bit of equity there. Cincinnati, this is a little surprising until you realize who the coach is, who the owner is in Mike Brown. They still have Zach Taylor. And Dallas has kept Brian Schottenheimer. Oh, and I'm sorry, and Baltimore fired John Harbaugh. Forgot about that. So we have a bunch of positions that are open. I'm eager to get Seth's opinion as to what is the best position. In my opinion, the best opening right now is either Baltimore, Atlanta. Yeah, it's got to be Baltimore or Atlanta. I don't see Cleveland as a good position, although they have a lot of draft capital. Giants have a quarterback, and they have a top wide receiver, so maybe that has something to do with it. But maybe, just maybe, for some reason, let's get that off. So maybe, just maybe, that's a good position for them. But Vegas hiring a new coach after Pete Carroll with the first pick in the draft, who we just saw was going to be Dante Moore. Tom Brady is taking more of a step into the game. It was announced by Mark Davis that he would be leading the search for the coach, which some have said it'll be John Harbaugh. Some will say it will be another recycled coach or even another coordinator. I found it odd that Pete Carroll was the guy last year when he's over 70 years old. We shall see what they do this year. And the Jets, 14. Keep Aaron Glenn. And Seth has been asking me all year whether Glenn was in hot water. And I continually said no. First of all, it would cost the team about $40 million to get rid of him and the coaching staff. Number two, he is, if there is Jet royalty, if that's a thing, he's Jet royalty. Number three, he's in his first year. And they have a lot of draft capital ahead. So they get their pick, which is number 2 overall. They get Indiana's pick, which is number 16. They also have the first pick in the second round, which is their pick. For those that are unaware, the second and first pick in the first round flip-flop into the second round. So they get the Jets. The Jets get the first pick in the second round. And then they get Dallas's pick in the second round, which is number 12. So they will have 4 picks in the top 44 picks. Now, Seth, which is the best job that's open right now? I think it's Baltimore because of the quarterback.
It is.
But if I'm going to pick a second team, because I don't want to deal with Lamar Jackson, and there's that, right? There's always that Lamar factor. I think it's Atlanta. I think Atlanta has the most talent.
The question, it's Atlanta or the Giants. The question really being, now Baltimore is because, number one, knowing they had a terrible year, there's a lot of talent. There's a really good owner.
Yep.
Very good GM.
Yep.
It is an incredibly stable team.
Yes.
I think just after 18 years, you get tired, things, it's time to move on.
Sure. And don't be surprised. Hold on. Don't be surprised if Mike Tomlin loses his game, if he's out too.
Well, I mean, here's the problem the Giants have. The Giants want Harbaugh. We all know it's no secret. Harbaugh is not taking interviews until next week because he wants to see who gets eliminated in the wild card games. So to be fair, I don't see Harbaugh going to Pittsburgh. I just don't. That to me is a mind fuck. But if Philly loses to San Francisco, if Green Bay loses to Detroit, if Buffalo loses to Jacksonville.
To be fair, Green Bay is playing Chicago now.
Green Bay is playing Chicago. You know what I meant.
But I want our listeners to understand.
Okay, my fault. That's usually you, so I get it.
I get it. Yeah, you're right.
So But these are three coaches like McDermott. This is your year with no Jackson, no Mahomes, no Burrow. And the team just hasn't been very good. Sirianni's never been particularly well liked in Philly, even though they've won a Super Bowl. And Matt LaFleur in Green Bay, it kind of feels like it's the same thing every year. So the problem the Giants have is, in my mind, for them, it's Harbaugh 1, Stefanski 2. I mean, who I would take 3, they wouldn't take in a million years. But those are your 2, and then it's everybody else.
Can we make the case, before you go on, that the Green Bay, well, you agree, not make the case, but you agree that all of those jobs that you just mentioned, except for Pittsburgh, are better jobs than the Giants?
Yes.
Okay. I don't view Pittsburgh as a better job than the Giants.
No, I think Pittsburgh's a weird job.
I think Pittsburgh is let's remember, Pittsburgh has Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, which means they don't have a future quarterback.
Correct.
Okay? Their running back is Gerard Warren. That's That's not a future running back. Their wide receiver just punched a guy in the face. Seattle got rid of him and invested in Cooper Kupp. And there's a great story, by the way, on John Schneider on The Athletic, if you haven't seen it this week, and understanding why he got rid of Metcalf and signed Cooper Kupp, because Metcalf just wasn't a team player. So
I haven't read it, but Schneider's a really good GM.
But that's my point, right? So the offensive line is creaky at best. The defensive line is very top-heavy with T.J. Watt and not a lot of depth. The linebackers, Jalen Ramsey is your top safety, who's getting paid $25 million. They are very lucky, and I say this in the nicest way, they are lucky they play in that division, because they would not have won in any other. They would not be in the playoffs in any other division. So
maybe the NFC South, but your point's made. Look, Baltimore was horrendous this year. If Burrow doesn't get hurt, Cincinnati wins the division.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree. Nobody thinks Pittsburgh's going anywhere, but I cannot see John Harbaugh going to the Steelers.
No. I get that. I get that. But my point was that the Giants' job is better than Pittsburgh, but it's not as good as the other 3.
No, it's not.
Okay.
And if Harbaugh was waiting, I think they could get Stefanski now. If they wait for Harbaugh, this could be Harbaugh's waiting for interviews until next week because he wants to see who's there. You may lose both.
Yeah. Well, I think Philly's a done deal if they fired Sirianni. I think John Harbaugh goes there.
I think he fits in perfect. I think he fits in beautifully there.
Well, for several reasons. First of all, he's an ex-coach there.
He is.
Before he went to Baltimore, he was the special teams coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. They know him very well. Makes perfect sense, right? I mean, the only other job that I think he would – I'm not sure he wants the Giants job.
I read the Giants board, so I'm biased. So I don't know. But again, if they're not firing their coaches,
yep.
If there's no firing after that, look, it's possible. I mean, I don't think LaFleur is in trouble. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't think LaFleur will be fired.
Right.
McDermott, I don't think will be, but it's possible. I think Sirianni has the best chance of all of them. Tomlin, Tomlin has
to win. Tomlin has to win. I think he's out.
But what I'm saying is neither Stefanski nor Harbaugh are going to Pittsburgh.
Probably not.
That's not a fit. So that's not as big of a concern for me. And then once you get after those 2, it's open season. I mean, do you know who I would prefer and I know they can't do it, but do you know who I prefer their other one to be?
It's got to be an ex-Eagle or ex-Cowboy coach.
Nope. Even more.
Oh, Steve Spagnuolo.
No. I would want Flores.
There's no. Well,
that's why I said you can't. The Giants can't take him. I get it. But
I mean, Brian Flores right now, from all reports, is the leading contender for the Raiders. So,
that'll fit.
yep. Well,
But like
another New
the,
England guy. By the way, for those that don't know why the Giants can't hire Brian,
Google Brian Flores and the New York Giants. It's pretty easy.
he's suing them for discriminatory practices.
Correct.
So, I mean,
But
he
you
could
understand why I think he would be a good
they could
fit.
give him a job and settle the suit.
That would probably do it. But that's I mean, that would be my preference. After that, if you're going to go to Shula or Hatley or Joe Brady, or although they're never going to a Buffalo offensive coordinator again, whatever you're going to do, I would rather look if they can get Harbaugh, fantastic. But if it's the Giants or the Eagles, it's going to be the Eagles.
Yeah, 100%.
And why wouldn't they? I mean, why wouldn't you?
They're a
Better
better
quarterback,
team.
better running back, better wideouts, better line. The whole team is better. The franchise is better. Best GM in football. Great owner. Why wouldn't you?
Best GM in football. Wow. Okay. Best GM.
Roseman? Who's better? You want to say Schneider? You want to say Veach? Fine. They're top 5.
No, I agree. I was actually while you were gone talking about DaCosta. I think DaCosta's up there as well. I think those are the 5, right? You Brandon Beane's in there too from Buffalo. Speaking of which, RIP to Highmark Stadium. Last game.
Did you know that Mr. Brightside was there?
Yes.
That must have popped up 37 times on video today.
Yeah. Yeah. So RIP, because there will not be another game at Highmark. They're moving across the street to the new Highmark, and we'll call that one Highmark too. Okay. We got some wild card games this week. The Rams at the Panthers in, again, the 8-9 team hosting again what did the Rams go? 12-5?
Yep.
So 8-9 versus 12-5 outside, but I don't think that matters. I'm still going to take the Rams.
Agreed.
Okay. Going to the other wild card team in the NFC. Well, other wild card, we have a couple of them. The Bears. That is the Saturday game at 4:30. The Saturday game at 8:00 in Soldier Field. Your Chicago Bears are playing the Green Bay Packers.
I like Green Bay. I still don't have a lot of confidence in Chicago. They've found ways to win games in ridiculous manners. Chicago has had a wonderful season. I just think Green Bay is a better team, even without Micah. So I'll take Green Bay on the road.
Okay, I'm going to take now remember, there's always a couple of road teams. We've already picked one in the Rams. I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to take Chicago here. Not sure if you watched Caleb Williams over the last couple of weeks. Played very well. The team
He did not play very well in the last game of the season.
250 yards in 3 quarters.
That they scored. It was at 16 points, 13 points.
Not because of him though. He played well between the 20s. Fine. The team has played well. Green Bay has not. Green Bay has injuries up and down.
They do.
Yes, Jordan Love's going to play, but who knows how long. He sat out the last game. He sat out the game before.
They said he could have played last week if it was necessary.
Okay. By the way, Matt LaFleur, I'm available in case it's necessary. So just in case you need to know.
Well, I mean, the Jets could have used you. You probably could have been better than Brady Cook.
No question. All right. The Bills travel to the Jaguars. So far I have picked one home.
That's probably the game of the weekend, which is
that
weird
is
to say.
Sunday, 1:00. The 1:00 game. Jaguars at home against the Bills. I will tell you, here we go with my mea culpa for the year. Okay. First,
you're saying this on your mea culpa is on January 6th, and it's for the entire year.
Okay, my mea culpa for the NFL football season. Let's put it that way. Is up until week 6, I thought that, thank God, the Jets did not get Trevor Lawrence and sign him to a $50 million deal, because Trevor Lawrence didn't look like a $50 million quarterback, not one bit. But if you're taking an MVP voting right now, he's in the top 5. He is 100% in the top 5. And the Jaguars have perhaps their running back in Travis Etienne, their quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, their wideout in Brian Thomas, and their slot in Jacoby Myers. Like, they have the makings of a team. And so I am going to pick Jacksonville to win at home, against my better judgment, which is always root for Josh Allen.
Surprisingly, I'm going to agree. I just don't think Buffalo's been that good this year. I think they've cruised through the season. And again, maybe it's because they've been in the playoffs so many damn years in a row. And they know intuitively they're going to win their 11, 12 games. New England obviously won 13 or 14, whatever they did. And I think the foot's too far off the gas. Jacksonville is playing hungrier. They're playing very well. I mean, Brian Thomas has been terrible this year, but they've been really, really good. Their defense has probably been probably the second best in the AFC. I'm going to take Jacksonville. I think it's going to be a really, really good game.
So Buffalo has tried for 4 years to get a number 1 wideout. They have cycled through Stephon Diggs. They have cycled through Amari Cooper. They have drafted Keon Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
They have tried to make Shakir a number 1, which he is not a number 1. He is a slot wide receiver.
Agreed.
They have tried and tried and tried. And because they couldn't do that, they decided, okay, let's go tight end heavy from the New England Patriot days, which is having Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid to be those types of tight ends in the same vein as Tom Brady did. Well, that's great, except they're not up to the snuff of Aaron Hernandez, RIP, and Rob Gronkowski, who may be the top tight end in football history. Maybe. I don't believe he is, but maybe. They miss a number 1 wide receiver set. They have missed one. And James Cook, who leads the NFL in rushing this year, even though he didn't play basically in week 17, still leads the NFL in rushing. When you have the NFL's leading rusher, you should be able to throw the ball. And the thing is, Josh Allen sits back there and cannot do that because he does not have a number 1 wide receiver. And so if we're saying, what do I want under the Christmas tree, which we did not do this year, for Josh Allen, I wish him a number 1 wide receiver. The problem is he's drafting like 17, and number 1 wide receivers are generally not found down there unless your name is Jackson Najiba Smith for some reason.
Jackson Smith and Jiba?
That too. Look, dyslexia is not a real thing for me. I do not have it. And yet I still can't. It's JSN. I should know that. Jackson Smith Najiba.
Well, we'll see if Pickens is enfranchised. We'll see if they make a run at him.
Oh, my God. What an awful fit.
I don't see that fit at all.
I can't. So here's the thing about George Pickens. He can't be a number 1.
He was the number 1 in Dallas this year.
No. Okay, let me rephrase.
He can't be a number 1 without someone of that tier as a 1A, you're saying?
Right. He can't be a sole number 1. He can't. Okay, first of all, he doesn't do the possession game. He's a down the field guy. He's Alvin Harper to Mike Irvin. I mean, he can be a great receiver when he has help. He can be that type of guy, right? He could be a Braden Cooks when you have a Cooper Kupp or something along those lines. You need to have somebody take the pressure off of you, because can you imagine? I mean, we saw how pissed off Pittsburgh people got with George Pickens. Can you imagine how pissed off Buffalo people are going to get with George Pickens? That's the same mentality, buddy. That ain't happening. I don't see that.
No, I don't either. I was just trying to think of any wide receivers who were going to be potentially in the free agency market.
That fit is worse than Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. So, okay. Wow. All right. And then the 49ers against the Eagles, which is the 4:30 game. The 49ers playing very well. By the way, the 49ers are the only team with a quarterback in the playoffs that is lower than the 4th round. Brock Purdy in the 7th round, but earning $50 million now, so I guess he made up for it. I will take the Niners at Philadelphia. I don't, much like Buffalo, I don't think the Eagles are as good as they have been in the past. And I think the 49ers are. They are leaning much more on McCaffrey than they ever had, and Kittle.
Well, because it's a rare time where McCaffrey's been healthy the whole year.
Correct. But it also comes down to Ricky Pearsall will hopefully be back. They don't have a wideout combination like Debo and Brandon Ayuk. So they need to rely on Kittle, and you're finding out that George Kittle is pretty damn good, not just as a blocker. So I'm going to take the Niners over the.
I am too, but more for personal reasons. Because I just don't think the Giants. I have told you, how many years ago did I tell you the Giants sold their soul for the two playoff Super Bowl wins?
Yeah.
And I think what happens is I think San Francisco beats Philly because Philly has not been good. Yeah. Hurts has not been Hurts. Saquon has not been Saquon. A.J. Brown hasn't been A.J. Brown. The offensive line no one has been as good as they were last year. The corners.
So the Eagles sold their soul for a couple of Super Bowls too.
No, the Eagles are going to get John Harbaugh in a week. That's that they're not. They don't sell their soul.
Oh, okay. And now we move on to New England, where Mark Rubin will be. I'm not sure if he's going to be at the game, but he certainly will be texting me during it. The Chargers versus the Patriots. 8:00 game in New England against a team from LA that has to travel 3 hours in the other direction
with half their offense injured. Their whole team
and their quarterback having a fractured hand. Yeah, I only hope it snows because I'd love to see it on TV. I know Orius Hampton is back. I know some of the Chargers offense is back.
You still don't have You still don't have Slater.
Right. And that's where it is. And so I
think to be honest, if the Chargers were healthy, they very well may have been my pick to win the AFC. But they're not. Mm-hmm. And to go to New England, who I don't think is a great team by any stretch.
But they do have
New England on 8:00.
They do have one of the top 2 MVP candidates. It's him and Stafford.
That is true.
And once again, the Jets miss out on a quarterback. Okay. Moving on to the Monday night game. Yes, there is a Monday night playoff game.
Can I start the Monday night game with the obvious?
Can I start the Monday night game with this is the first week I got full, complete sleep since September because there were no football games on late at night. It was fantastic. Let me tell you, not having a Monday night game and not having a Thursday night game. Now, I sound like an old man. I don't care. I slept beautifully this week, and now we're back to Monday night. And to be fair, Seth, I may be sleeping through this one, but I'm going to take the Steelers to win this game because it's played in Pittsburgh. Look, I don't think either team is extraordinarily good. I think the Texans' defense is tremendous, but their offense has been up and down. They don't have a running back that they can count on. Nico Collins has had a pretty good year. Tank Dell hasn't come back to full strength. I'm going to pick Aaron Rodgers to win a game just to put a dagger in my heart for one more week.
I'll save you that one. I think Houston beats them pretty convincingly.
Hope so.
I think Houston is actually a very good team.
So to be fair, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 road teams out of 6.
This is the most look. This is the most mediocre NFL playoff we've ever seen. Nobody has a clue who the favorite is. Who is your favorite in the AFC? Do you have one? I don't. I don't think Denver's
Funny,
that
I
good.
have to look who's playing. Because,
That's kind of my point.
Right. No, it's definitely not Denver. I mean, my favorite in the NFC is Seattle. My favorite in the if it has to go through Seattle, Seattle's good enough to win. That's my favorite in the NFC. My favorite in the AFC, I would say the problem is it doesn't have to go through Jacksonville. If it had to go through Jacksonville, I'd pick Jacksonville, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So to your point, I get it. Okay.
I think the NFC, I think any of the 3 teams in the West are the favorite. I still kind of like the Rams better than the Seahawks, especially if Devontae Adams is healthy.
Yeah.
And if also, to be fair, that the Rams were my pick to make the Super Bowl in the beginning of the year.
That is true.
I think you may have either you or Jake laughed at me. I forget which one.
I think it was Jake. I'm going to say it was Jake. I think I picked the Packers and the Bills. If I had to guess.
Yeah, I think I took the Rams and the Bills.
Okay,
but I would take Jacksonville. Probably is my favorite going in. I don't like any of these teams.
Yeah. All right, we got 3 minutes to go. I'm going to go first. Glenn Hall, Mr. Goalie, not Mr. Hockey. Mr. Hockey was Gordie Howe, but Mr. Goalie, Glenn Hall, died yesterday at 94. 18 years in the NHL. But the most important thing is he had 84 shutouts. And here's the most impressive thing, Seth. He started 502 straight games in net without a mask. That is insane, considering the next longest streak belongs to Alec Connell with 257.
I don't know who is Alec Connell.
Exactly. And when you think about today's goalies, excuse me. When you think about today's goalies, where they only start 50 to 60 games, you realize that that may be the record, even more than Wayne Gretzky's record, that will never, ever be touched in NHL history. 502 straight games. So that means 6.5.
Yeah, 6 straight, over 6 years. Sadly, part of what he's best known for is the goal he let up against Bobby Orr, where you see Bobby Orr flying across the flying goal.
And before we go, I just wanted to extend our sympathies to our buddy Nabate Isles. Look, we know we mess around with you a lot.
So you mess around with him a lot.
You do too.
Yeah.
We love you, buddy. We're sorry for your loss. And if there's anything you can do, the Seth and Sean Sports Radio Show is here for you.
Yep. Quickly, I was going to mention that. Happy birthday, Dad. 81, acting like he's 60. God bless him.
Better than us.
You know, just when we thought college sports couldn't get more ridiculous, then you have Devin Williams Jr.
Yep.
You're a quarterback for a 7-4 team, 7-5 team. You get offered $4 million a year, which you accept. And then 4 days later, you're in the portal. Good luck trying to figure all this out, guys.
And by the way, his representation today
just fired him.
Yep.
Yeah, they fired him.
Yeah. All right, guys. For Seth Kamens is over there. I'm Sean Palmer over here. Thank you very much for joining. Happy New Year to you all. And we'll be here in 2026 a little bit more often than we were in 2025.
Or at least more than we were in December of 25.
There you go. Have a good one, everybody.